At Niangua was in started back in 2019. I had this idea for a film and I went to Chase and we saw eye to eye. So we shot the first rendition of it, not really that experienced, and it was awful by our standards today.
There was a proof of concept competition. Bo and I, the young lads that we thought, yeah, let's give it a shot. Did not turn out very good. We tried to do a lot of things ourselves. We also, one, had no budget and had no time.
What are we doing?
This is what it takes. We are a little bit, we're in shallow water, but it's fine because it's for the film. We spent a couple years honing our craft as filmmakers. We came back to this project more matured and more ready for it. We got a bigger crew, a bigger budget, and we already shot this the first time. So the second time around, we're gonna learn from our mistakes from the first time, and it showed to be more promising.
Needless to say, the first version probably will not be seen by any viewers anytime soon.
I'm documenting our journey. At Niangua's End, behind the scenes, location scouting. Pretty comfortable in the boat.
Yeah. You just enjoy yourself there, sweetheart.
I still haven't seen the original Niangua's End. I still haven't seen it all the way through. You wouldn't let me watch it through.
Whenever this one gets fully done, I think we'll have to make some sort of pact to let you see it.
We were like,
all right.
Like before we shot, we didn't want to show it to you, and you'd be like, "Oh man, do these guys know what they're doing?" Like, what's
Right.
One thing that we knew we needed to do this time around was surround ourselves with a talented crew of people and not try to do everything ourselves. You know, I'm natively a director of photography, and Bo is very visual as well. So we had a very strong idea of how this needs to look, and we brought on our good friend Clayton Potter.
You know, getting the job was kind of a funny process. When at that time, unbeknownst to me, Chase and Bo went and watched some of my older DP work. There was one particular shot in a film I had done that they really loved. Come to find out that one shot ended up actually being a B crew shot, something I didn't necessarily have a heavy hand in. And so it was kind of funny because that's what got me the job on Niangua's End, but I'll take it.
Even like the harshest of critics said that the cinematography was amazing in this, and I definitely agree. The cinematography is incredible.
Man, with Phoenix Buckner, he left me speechless. All of us speechless at that. I really got to give a lot of credit to Jonna Foles. She helped out so much with this project, and I could not have been more thankful. She made us really see clearly that Phoenix was the right fit for this role, and she couldn't have been more right.
Phoenix blew this out of the water. He brought the depth to that character to a whole new degree that really makes the story, because a lot of it, you know, it's about emotion, it's about reaction.
My aunt texted me and was like, hey, I've got a role that I think you'd be perfect for. And I wanted a role that would push me out of my comfort zone and get me to where I would like to be in the acting field. And it really did that. I figured out I was being a little brother, which I'm used to because I have an older brother myself. And so I could draw a lot from my personal experience, but also just being there in the spot with Bo and rehearsing it. And I just got myself even further into that headspace to really knock it out.
The John boat, it's kind of like your supporting character almost in this. It's like by the end of the shoot, you knew how to drive the John boat better than anyone. When we started, you'd never driven one before, right?
Well, yeah, and he pushed me out in the water with the drain plug undone. So I was like, there's a puddle of water in here, and it's kind of slowly rising. And he's like, you'll be fine, man. And I'm like, I don't know, dude, it's getting pretty deep. And so we had to like lasso me back onto shore. Go at it, buddy. Have fun. Like, I don't know about this.
So yeah, Phoenix did amazing. He was a huge asset to this project. You know, Bo wrote the idea. It's his baby. And then not only did he write and also produce, but he was Ollie. He was the older brother. I think because he wrote the character, he understood the character so well, and it made it directing super easy when your actor just knows the character inside and out. It makes it so easy. Like I get to ask the actor questions about the character. It's really great. So
as far as my role, Ollie, goes, I would say he's someone that is etched in with the town. He is the kind of guy you really want to root for, but he always just slightly misses his mark. You know, he knows what the right thing is to do, but for the life of him, he can't bring himself to do it. It's really self-indulgent being one of the creators, the producer, and starring in this, but I can't really explain it. When it came to this, I had to play this part.
So Bo is absolutely, obviously essential because this is his story, this is his baby. It's incredible. The group of people that we have in this, both cast and crew, it's really made this even better knowing that we have such a wonderful group of people that love this idea as much as we do. It takes a village for sure, and we built one hell of a village for this.
And this isn't just about us. We have a whole mountain of people to thank for making this idea come into reality. You know, I'm gonna get emotional here, but I gotta give a lot of credit to Chase. You know, this is something that is so near and dear to me, and none of this would have happened without Chase. The fact that he took this in with utmost importance, it truly means a lot.
And yeah, he came to me as the writer, as the one who came up with the idea, and asked me to direct, which I was so happy to be asked. I related to it instantly because I have brothers, I have older and younger brothers, so I related to it both ways. It's definitely a story that's heavy in brotherly love. And so it spoke to me, and I think anyone with a sibling, it's gonna speak to them too. And so I think a lot of people are gonna be able to relate to this story. As much as it is a brotherly love story, it's also a love story to the Lake of the Ozarks because, you know, the lake means a lot to me, it means a lot to Bo. We both grew up there. This was definitely the biggest project I've ever directed, and it's also my first time not doing the cinematography. And so that was kind of hard for me, letting go of that, letting Clayton do his thing while I focused on directing and focused on the actors and, you know, making sure everything was running smoothly.
I knew very quickly that Chase was going to have a very specific vision as a DP himself, now doing his directorial debut, that he really knew what he wanted. But he sent me this fantastic lookbook that had all kinds of great films in it. Kind of slower was the style of the films that he had been sending, this sort of rhythm to it where you just kind of let the scene just kind of be there and play out in front of you. You know, something Bo had said to me was he wanted it to look painterly. You know, I went and looked at a lot of environmentalist paintings, you know, just looking at these nice landscape photography, landscape paintings, just to kind of get the idea of this like sweeping wide.
Started by making a playlist of a bunch of songs that I figure Owen would have listened to as, you know, he was going through all this family stuff. So I started with that, and then I went out and hung out with Bo a little bit, and that was cool. We got to talk and get to know each other better, and, you know, really connect to, you know, relay that connection onto screen, you know, as brothers.
When it came to actually framing up and getting shots and everything, and lighting in production, really it was just calling back on that same lookbook style. Obviously there had been lots of, I had been to the locations multiple times already. When it came to on the day, you know, we knew what we were going for, we knew what we were looking for, and we were able just to knock out these scenes. The actors were there on point, directing was perfect. We had a great crew, and it was just fantastic. We were able to start knocking stuff out, and it was a joy. Long hours, but a great time with friends for sure. So
I think it's awesome. Honestly, I loved every minute of it. I mean, everybody was on the same page. We were, you know, having little huddles before we went out, and production was really smooth. I loved everybody on the crew. Everybody was awesome. We were just having fun making a movie.
You know, it's easy to direct something where the actors are doing incredible, just innately doing amazing, and the DP is doing amazing, the cast and crew, everyone's doing amazing. It's so easy to direct when you have such a great crew surrounding you. So it was a blast. The worst part was I didn't get any sleep. I slept like 3 hours over the course of 3 days. Yeah, it was a blast. It was such a fun time directing.
Really, the only little recovering I had to do was that last day on my drive home. Got teary-eyed while I was on the drive home. I had all that build up because it, you know, obviously was weighing on my character, that it was just a lot of stress and a lot of you know, sadness. So I kind of just had to, you know, let that all just leave whenever I was on my way home and in the car by myself, and let it flow out of my eyes, out of my mouth, you know, however I needed it to.
When watching this, you're gonna get a sense that everything is heightened. This film, at its core, is about two brothers and their love for each other. They didn't grow up with the best home life, and at the end of the day, they're really all they got. And that's something that really is highlighted.
Right now in the story, we're following Owen, and at the beginning, we're not really sure what's going on. We know he's waking up really early. He's gathering some supplies. We're not really sure what's going on, and then we find out very soon the situation, and it's revealed throughout the short film. And we're basically kind of in the middle of it. It's an incredible point in the story, and I think we chose this specific point in the story to go ahead and use as our proof of concept, because we knew it's kind of a turning point.
The story being a story of two brothers, stakes and fear and love. I felt like it's a story of reaction to fear. Together they kind of set, and there was a little bit more wide. We've seen a little bit more of the environment because they felt safe together. But then as they begin to divide in their anger towards each other, I cut them out of each other's shots, and we just end up with they're alone and they're scared, and they're trapped in this dingy little shack. And in a way, they're trapped not only in the shack, but they're also trapped by the events that are happening. And so it created this feeling of tension and fear. I felt like that really worked for the film.
It took about a full year to edit. We went through many drafts of this version. The first one was 27 minutes, then we got down to 25, then to 20, and then we cut it little by little down to 15 minutes, which will be the version that you will be watching.
Bo and I are both editors, and so we went into this kind of with the mindset of an editor, knowing kind of how we wanted to cut our transitions. I think we both saw the movie in our heads before the camera rolled.
I showed it to my mom, my dad, and my girlfriend. The overall response was, where's the actual movie? Where's the full movie?
This is a proof of concept again. It's we're planning on turning this into a full-length feature.
It's going to be a feature film that people are going to be able to really get into the gritty of this story and find out what's happening between these two brothers and the details and what's going on with this whole other family that's hunting Bo's character. And so it's kind of this tense kind of story that I think is interesting. And so I would love really in the future just this to head that direction and see really what plays out in this story and really where it heads.
Oh man, I would say this film is a love letter to a place that I and many others hold so dearly. We just want to say thank you for all the time and support that's been given in the lead up to this release. And we are super excited to be sharing At Niangua with you here very soon.